We're going to have more on the environmental impact of the flooding in just a moment, but first we're going to go to freelance journalist Tim Stackpool. He's in Sydney, Australia, by Skype. Tim, this has turned right now, as I understand it, into a major military operation.
Yes, indeed, Seamus. There is some good news, however. We've had no further fatalities in the last 24 hours as a result of these floods. Some more good news, the road to the north of Rockhampton has reopened. So what the military are doing they are flying supplies to the north of Rockhampton, and then those supplies are now being trucked in. There are also supplies coming in from the south. However, those are being transported into Rockhampton via barge. But yes, you are correct. These large Hercules aircraft are flying from Brisbane up to the north of the country, north of Rockhampton, and that's where those supplies are finally being delivered into Rockhampton, which is quite a relief for the local people. However, the river there is going to peak there within the next 24 hours. It will peak there at around 30 feet. It'll stay like that for about 2 days at least before the waters, Seamus, begin to subside.
Freelance journalist Tim Stackpool is in Australia with an update on the disaster for us. Good morning, Tim. We've been tracking this story for the past 2 weeks. What's the latest in Queensland right now that you can tell us?
Good morning, Todd. Yes, that's up to 22 towns affected in Queensland right now. That's Australia's second largest province. And I can tell you that since this disaster, if I could call it that, started about November 30, 10 lives have been lost so far. Just going through some of those statistics you mentioned, about 1,000 homes have been abandoned. That city of Rockhampton you talked about, there's 75,000 residents in that city, and all of those residents have been affected. Most of the town is inundated. That town is going to be cut off at least for the next 10 days. And those floodwaters, look, they talked about them peaking at almost 10 metres. That's almost 30 feet. So it is significant, these floodwaters, Todd, and most of the authorities think that they are probably only in the middle of this now. And as some of the floodwaters begin to subside in other towns, of course, they're expecting the floodwaters to peak even higher in Rockhampton very soon.